There's a story in the Gospel of Luke that I've loved for a very long time now. You can read it in Luke chapter 10. It's the story of the Good Samaritan. I'm sure you all know this story. It's one we've all heard probably many, many times in our lives. But it goes a little bit like this. There was this man, and one day he sets out on a journey. He's just having a normal day. He's going about his normal business. He's going from one place to the other. He's out on a walk, just doing his own thing. And then suddenly he gets jumped on by a band of thieves and robbers, and they strip him of all of his clothes, they rob him of all of his possessions, and then they throw him into a ditch and leave him for dead at the side of the road. And suddenly you have this guy who at the beginning of the day was just living normal life, and then in a moment finds himself in a completely different situation. He finds himself broken and desperate and hurting and dying and lying in a ditch, desperately needing someone to see him, desperately needing someone to stop and come and help him. And the first person who comes on this scene is a priest. Now, a priest would have been known as a very religious person. They would have worn all the right religious clothes and been seen in all the right religious places and talked all the right religious talk. But when the priest walks down the road and he sees the hurting, dying, desperate man in the ditch, it says he just crosses the road and goes about his way. And then we have a Levite. Now, a Levite would also have been seen in all the right religious places, wore all the right religious clothes, talked all the right religious talk, knew all the right religious things to say and to do. But it says that as he walked down the road and he sees the hurting, dying, desperate, broken man in the ditch, he too crosses to the other side and goes about his way. And then comes a Samaritan man. Now, a Samaritan man would not have been known as a very religious man. He definitely wouldn't have worn the right religious clothes or been seen in all of the right religious places. In fact, he was actually an outcast in Jewish society. Yes, he walks down the road and he sees the hurting, dying, desperate, broken man in the ditch. He stops. And he bends down and he begins to tend the man's wounds, and then he picks him up and he carries him off and takes him somewhere to get some help. And as Jesus finishes telling this story to the crowd that are all around him, he turns to them and then he says, "Now listen, now you go and do likewise. You go live, you go love as the Samaritan man." In James 1:27, it says, "Pure and genuine religion in the sight of God the Father is to care for the orphan and the widow in her distress and to keep oneself from being polluted by the world." Pure and genuine religion is to care for the orphan and for the widow. You see, pure and genuine religion is not just about what church we go to on a Sunday morning, or at the moment what church we log into on a Sunday morning through our computer screens. It's not about what books you read or what songs you have on your iPod or what conference or summer festival you attend. Now, none of those things are bad. Please don't get me wrong. Those things are very good within measure. But pure and genuine religion doesn't stop there. It goes on much further than that. You see, if all we do is enjoy Jesus for ourselves and receive from him for ourselves and then never go and give away what it is that we have received, what does that make us? I think it makes us no better than the priest and the Levite in this story. And I absolutely believe that God did not create his church to be a people of passivity or inactivity. He created us to be men and women of passion and vision and zeal and energy, and to go out into the darkest places that this world has to offer and infuse it with the light and the presence and the power of Jesus Christ, and see him come through us and bring transformation. That's what we were created to do. We're created to go outside of the church walls and live out love to those who are around us. And right now in our world, We are all experiencing a suddenly moment, really all at the same time. 3 months ago, life seemed pretty normal for most of us. And then suddenly, we find ourselves in the middle of a pandemic. And life as we knew it doesn't exist anymore. And there's uncertainty everywhere. And everywhere you go, wherever you would travel in the world, you would find people who are in a ditch right now, who are lying there, who are frightened, who are desperate, who are broken, who are hurting, and who are lying there saying, is there someone who can come and help me? Is there someone who can help me find peace, who can help me find safety, who can help me find food? There are hurting, desperate, broken people in the ditch all around us, all around me, all around you, in our own streets, in our neighborhood, in our nation, and in the nations all over the world. So my challenge today, both to myself and to you, is what are we going to do about it? Are we going to go ourselves and do likewise, as Jesus instructed us to do? Are we going to respond like the priest and the Levite? Or are we going to respond like the Samaritan man? Are we going to go and love like Jesus called us to love, to live like he's called us to live, sacrificially, selflessly, extravagantly? Are we going to give of ourselves and all that we have in order to help rescue those who found themselves in a ditch? I pray that we will. I pray that we do.